We need games like Stellar Blade. I think it's about time that the world starts to heal after so many half-assed titles, or overusing same formulas and ideas that every developer has already used more than enough. Ubisoft, EA, I'm looking at you. Feels like currently we live in a world where games have stopped even trying to come up with something new. Instead, they are making same game over and over again as long as it brings profit. What games came out recently that were supposed to be the big ones? Notorious Concord that literally has not a single character that I would want to play as? Okay, maybe besides this one. This one looks fun. Or maybe quadruple A games like Skull and Bones that flopped harder than Cyberpunk 2077 on release. Okay, maybe not as hard, but still. Or perhaps you want to play a game with its title already engraved into a gamer's mind, but for like 10 years they don't feel like they should be named that way, because they try to be something else. Like, Ubisoft knows that Assassin's Creed title will sell the game, but at the same time they are limited by it. I think games are supposed to attract people with fun gameplay, nice story, cool characters, you name it. Each one of us is looking for something else, but I can bet my stupid ass that nobody wants to play as this. Like, come on, when you go to a restaurant you will most likely see nice and colorful dishes in the menu, not some sticks and shit on a plate sprinkled with sawdust. Tell me, why the hell I can barely find anything I'd like to play these days? Why some games seems to actually discourage me from trying them out? Am I getting tired of gaming? Or is it all the recent political ideologies baked into some of these games that make me wanna skip them? Maybe I just wanna play games on release that actually feels finished. I love video games, but in the last few years I've been hyped for a game maybe like 3 times at best. That being said, one of that time is actually quite recent and I wanna talk about this game today. That game is Stellar Blade. At the time I thought that Stellar Blade will be the game that can fill my emptiness inside left by Nier Automata. Now bear with me, I will be comparing this game to Nier a few times in this video. I was desperately craving for literally anything like this game. Desperate to the point that it made me search daily on internet which game are similar to this one. Hope to make a video about this game soon, once I get to replaying it, because I feel like it deserves all the praise it can get, but I digress. My sad and desperate search has led me to the initial trailer and gameplay reveal of Stellar Blade, back then known as Project Eve. After watching those I wasn't quite interested, I just thought of it as some yet another hack and slash game that has nothing to do with mentioned before Nier, and kinda forgot about it. After a few years it was released under the current name Stellar Blade on PS4. At first I didn't really know what that game is until I got that moment of clarity. Something clicked in my head and I realized once upon a time I've seen this game. Hype emerged as I started watching videos on YouTube, with each one of them forming my opinion that this actually might be a new Nier-like game. Since I'm not a console player, I had to check if Stellar Blade comes out on PC and actually got pleasantly surprised that it indeed does. Quite soon too. And here we are now, after some time after release, and me having clocked in like over 100 hours. And I can finally say that it was worth waiting. Before I could actually play this game, I checked reviews if this game is anything near to be like Nier. Got my answer? No, it's not. Kinda. Because it feels like it's a spiritual successor, but yeah. Now with my soul being crushed to pieces and with my disappointment reaching rock bottom, I actually approached this game with cool head and low expectations compared to Cyberpunk.
Dick.
Oh boy, talking about Cyberpunk. It triggers my PTSD. After finishing Stellar Blade, twice now actually, I must say it's a good game. Sure, it has its share of flaws I will list in a sec, but overall I'm happy this game came out. It feels like gameplay from Nier and Dark Souls got mixed together, and I gotta say it works. Let's start with what I think was the most disappointing, and that's our main protagonist. So yeah, we play as Eve, a very, very hot android woman. Sadly, her personality comes down to agreeing to anything, with maybe some sassy attitude spontaneously thrown here and there, which actually made me chuckle a few times.
正直予想外だ。ありがとう。じゃあ紙をお願い。決まった感じで。随分と根に持ってるみたいだな。じゃあ始めようか。
In my eyes, her sass is the only redeeming character feature, because that's the only trait that makes her feel like somebody. She has no character development, no quirks, not even a goal other than finishing her job she was tasked with at the start of the game. She's literally a blank paper, or a chicken breast with rice, or a vanilla flavor, or a Taylor Swift song. She just flows with whatever happens around her, never really trying to make a difference. She has only two assets that makes her memorable, and it's her ass and titties. I mean, beautiful appearance and long ponytail. Also ass and titties. When we put her next to characters from Nier, she falls flat, which is a bummer, because I'm a sucker for deep character backstory and character development. Eve's design, as for now, is mainly focused on her appearance. Some may like this approach since they just wanna have fun playing this game while watching Eve's ass and don't give a damn about lore, but some will say it's just a gunner bait for miserable people. Another thing I must mention, though it's not entirely bad, might be just my personal preference, is the combat system. Recently I played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance to get myself back into hack and slash games. Even though this game has multiple tools besides the main weapon, I stick with the sword only, because it is so satisfying to play with and just feels right to use as Raiden. Stellar Blade, on the other hand, we have some bombs, we have a drone, which by the way feels very fun to use. Our main weapon is Blood Edge. I like its design, it has badass name and the animations are just chef's kiss. Only I struggle to point my finger on what exactly makes me not like it as much as Raiden's high frequency blade. Maybe it's the clunky combo mixing, maybe the hits don't have that oomph to them, but I can definitely tell you what I enjoyed using, and that's Taki mode. Holy smokes, using Taki sword feels just so satisfying to me, it makes me wish it was our main weapon. Even though it has way less combos, hits for the same amount of damage as Pool Noodle, and is also restricted with time limit, I still enjoy it far more. It's way more flashy and fun, while Blood Edge is more down to earth, kinda like its equivalent of Dark Souls combat, just with more acrobatic movement. Not saying Blood Edge is bad by no means, but with games like that I think flashy equals better. Last thing I didn't really enjoy was the side quests. There is nothing really to write poems about. So far Cyberpunk still is a king with its side quest design.
Getting caught.
Stellar Blade is actually decent enough to give us some nicely animated dialogue scenes, though only for important ones. Now what we actually do in those side quests is sadly quite generic things like kill this, bring me that, find this or find him or her. Nothing we haven't seen already. Sadly those quests are undercooked. Undercooked to the point that there's no storylines. And when there's actually when there actually is some, they often get no continuation, let alone a resolution. Talk about this broken device, for example. What is the purpose of it? Did everyone miss it? Maybe it's tied to DLC that we most likely won't get since devs are cooking Stellar Blade 2 instead. Which I totally don't mind, by the way, keep cooking. But yeah, if they had to cut corners here and there, why leaving something like that? That's a question we probably won't get an answer for. Now, with that being out of the way, let's talk about the good, and oh boy, there's a lot. Do you like music? Because sure as hell I do. This game delivered some nice bangers. Also, there are some similarities between Nier songs too, which I really appreciate. Nothing makes a boss fight better than a dope song that plays along as you make your opponent regret being your opponent. Or them making you regret that you got into his game. Like, nah, take me away from this bullshit. Music is important. It builds a vibe and plays a big role to make the fight memorable. In some cases, even becoming a classic. We got to the bosses, so it's worth mentioning that fighting them feels like fighting against bosses from Souls series, but with parry from Sekiro instead of a dodge roll. It's definitely worth learning their attack patterns. I need to slow down. Especially if you play on hard mode. Without proper gear and knowledge about the boss you want to go against, it might turn out that they might turn you into minced meat real fast. So you are better off being prepared before entering the fight. Moving now to the character's design, and I gotta say that it is great. Eve obviously steals the entire show here, but still there are some nice and interesting looking characters that can make you curious what is up with them. Also, it's so nice that we finally got a hot main character, like damn, finally. It's just what we wanted, fanbase approved, 11 out of 10, Uld Gun again. But it also makes me a little sad that a lot of people have problem with her looks. Current world we live in is trying to be so correct that we spread ourselves thin on every possible matter. Trust me, most of us gamers don't objectify women and we don't have unreal expectations. If I would speak for myself only, I really like to play as cool looking characters, that's all. I often spend way too much time in character creator if I'm given one. So why something that I consider cool must trigger so many people? For me it just looks like those people are projecting their personal issues. Or perhaps they just like attacking anything that isn't to their liking. I don't know. Just let games be games, not a platform for unnecessary arguments. Also, something I wouldn't expect I'd mention is collectibles. And I'm not talking about all the notes, though I think it's worth collecting them since they're quite short and to the point, so you can follow the lore quite easily. I'm talking about the soda cans. They are funny. That little animation Eve does cracks me up every time. It's so refreshing to see that it actually made me go out of my way and try to collect them all. And I did. While we are at the topic of collectibles, there's a lot of customs to get for Eve. Also, there are few outfits for our crew too, but they don't change a whole lot. You can make your Eve look like a model on a fashion catwalk, you can also make her look like your high school crush, or put her in a bear costume, cause why not? Lastly, let's talk about the future continuation that actually pushed me to make this video. I'm curious what the sequel will be. If it's gonna be a simple extension of what already Stellar Blade is, or maybe a big overhaul that manages to surpass big games like Dark Souls, or even my beloved Nier Automata. Thing is that I'm excited for the first time in a long time. I feel like Stellar Blade is a game that I can place my trust in. Even though Tencent is a shareholder, it's not another big project of how to milk their customers from every last penny. This game actually feels like a game, however dumb that sounds. It's not the best game that ever came out, but there is something in it that gives me hope. That the sequel actually might be the big one. Feels like devs and CEO got their heart in right place and wanna deliver simply fun and cool game. They laid a good foundation, they just need to expand upward with good ideas, fun gameplay, great story and probably even more skimpy suits for Eve, because that sells. Playing Stellar Blade felt like I was teleported back to my younger ages, when games cared and sold only with being fun and cool. No microtransactions, no season pass, no FOMO or other gacha bullshit we live with nowadays. Just the good old fun. Bonus points from me if they manage to make story that hooks me in, so I can wait for third part, wondering what will happen next. And that's because currently the cliffhanger is quite meh, in my opinion. Yeah, it's there and makes you wonder what happens next, but it's nothing that will hook on people's minds, especially that I doubt anyone has any connection and sympathy to characters they gave us, at least for now. Honestly, with Stellar Blade, I sincerely hope we are currently at the booty phase that got our attention, and that we will get a story in Stellar Blade 2 which will make us remember this game for not only the cool characters but also nice and badass story. I'm just happy that Shift Up made this game, because it doesn't feel like another money grab. I really wish the best for the studio and can't wait to see more. I just hope they will focus on making another Stellar Blade and not some new gacha game. I hope the story is gonna be much better and I hope it's just gonna be great. That's all. So yeah, that's that. I'm really happy that Shift Up delivered this game. Also, I'm really happy that this game is loved by so many people. Stellar Blade filled my emptiness to some degree, though, as I mentioned before, it didn't get anywhere near to be as strong story-wise as Nier Automata, but there's always a second chance and I hope this time devs will do their homework. So I'm gonna wrap this video up and I hope you enjoyed, hope you survived until the end, and yeah, thank you very much for watching and hopefully catch you next time. See ya.